Hey everyone, I'm Taylor.
I'm Catherine. Hi, I'm Courtney.
All right, if anybody's tuned in right now, what we're doing now is we're just giving it a few more minutes for a couple of people to log in. One of the Facebook groups that I'm a part of that is really in the process of pushing this deck forward and kind of refining the list. I posted in there that we'd be up and running in 15 minutes. That was about 9:30, so I'm just giving it another minute or two before we get things rolling here. So for anybody that's joined in and tuned in, welcome. We'll be starting in just a few minutes. While we're waiting on them, I guess what I'll do is I'll kind of touch on some of the changes. Basically, this is the third night in a row that we're going to be kind of running this KCI 2.0 list, as I call it. And we've made some changes. Kind of each night we've made some changes just to kind of test out different cards and kind of learning from all of our games. We had some, I think, a little more challenging games, just as KCI originally did against like decks like Blue White with Counter Magic. So I'll cover kind of our game plan there in just a moment. But as far as the main deck goes, we haven't really changed a whole lot. We started night one. We had a Tormod's Crypt in the main, and we had an additional on the side. I don't feel that the card has been that necessary to have in the main. A lot of these graveyard decks we can actually race. So I just have the one Tormod's Crypt in the sideboard right now. And last night we tested with 2 Arcbound Ravagers. I'm still not sure about the card yet, but I like the idea of having 5 to 6 mill pieces in the deck, sack outlets in the deck. And so having 4 grinding stations, and I cut back to 1 Arcbound Ravager. We're going to be giving this card some more time and some more testing. Each time I've played it, it's felt a little underwhelming to me, but there's still a lot of people advocating for this card. So we're still playing one in the main deck right now. We were only playing 1 Sai last night, and Sai is a really powerful card, and really in a lot of the games that we were playing Sai, we we were just able to kind of showcase the power of this card, and I wanted a second one in the main deck for now. A couple of interesting things about the sideboard. We've added in a 4th removal spell over what we were playing last night. So we added a second Lightning Bolt. So we have a 2-2 split with Lightning Bolt and Galvanic Blast. Really good against, if we do play against something like humans where a Meddling Mage could name a Galvanic Blast or a Lightning Bolt. We kind of have a split here. This is kind of a new card that we've just added in. We were testing Karn out last night. We still need to kind of give that card some more time in testing too, but I also want to test this card in the process too. Antiquities War. Basically, it's a saga, so it comes down and goes to Chapter 1, and we basically Ancient Stirrings, and then on our next turn, it moves to Chapter 2 at the beginning of our main phase, and we basically Ancient Stirrings again. And then on Chapter 3, in the following turn, in our main phase, it goes to Chapter 3. All artifacts that we control actually become creatures with base power and toughness that are 5/5 until end turn. And I played this card at a casual modern event at our local game store, and this card actually won me a matchup. I'm not sure if it's a card that we are going to want, moving forward or playing at something like a GP, but obviously we are looking to juke some decks that maybe want to shut down our main game plan by bringing in cards like Rest in Peace and Leyline of the Void, Surgical Extractions, and so these cards play really well. Last night we played an Aether Grid. I've also cut the Aether Grid from the main deck. We're still kind of testing out this Defense Grid, which is really good against control decks and decks that are playing any kind of counter magic or interaction. We were playing 2 Swan Songs last night. We still have those, but I've also added a Spell Pierce into the mix. I feel like the 1 mana counter spells are really the sweet spot for this deck. There's just some turns where on turn 4 we want to go off, and maybe that just means that we have 4 mana sources in play, and with 3 we're going to play our Semblance Anvil, and maybe with the 4th we're going to hold up a Spell Pierce or something like that to be able to interact with any kind of disruption that our opponent might have. So these are some of the changes that we've made here, and our mana base has stayed the same. I've had some suggestions there as well, but yeah, had some suggestions there, but with cards like Glimmer Void and Spire of Industries, but I've been very happy with this mana base. I think it's really important just being able to cast cards like Ancient Stirrings on your turn 1, whereas Glimmer Void or Spire of Industry is not going to do that, and so I think it's just really important that we're able to do that on our turn 1. So if you've just joined into the stream, welcome. So glad to have you guys joining here. It's kind of been a crazy week in Magic, with the Mythic Invitational and everything kind of happening with Owen Turtenwald right now. If anybody's kind of tuned into that and the news on that lately, I'd love to hear your thoughts on I don't know, just your thoughts on what's going on and how you guys feel about the situation. I was really surprised when they pulled Owen Turtenwald, especially being such an important part of their pro league, and I feel like a part of Wizards' brand in general of pro players. So pulled him from the Mythic Invitational. He was replaced with Brian David Marshall, and there was another article that had come out accusing or there were some allegations at least that Owen Turtenwald, very similar to Todd Stevens, was involved in some inappropriate conduct with female players, that he was making them very uncomfortable, and I don't know if they're just investigating this, but whatever's going on, Owen Turtenwald has been pulled from the Invitational, and he was not able to attend. And so we still really haven't heard an official statement from Wizards yet, and we haven't really heard any kind of official statement from Owen Turtenwald. So we will see what's happening there. So yeah, so really curious to hear your guys' thoughts on that. Feel free to jump into the chat if you guys are logged in. And viewing, feel free to jump into the chat. We have a chat room. I do have my chat open. So if you guys have questions or things that you want to talk about, sometimes it's strategy, some lines of play, some things that, oh, we could do this in this situation. That's really helpful, and I'm happy to interact there. I think it's a really great place to interact. So I'm just putting some jams right now in my headphones here. We're listening to some Post Malone. If any of you guys are Post Malone fans out there. Let's see. Just very chill music to listen to. Really been enjoying that lately. All right, so we're going to get ready to hop into some games here with our trusted KCI 2.0 list, giving this 75 a test. We are going to play some leagues with this deck later on in the week. Right now, we're just getting, just kind of doing some casual gameplay here, showcasing the deck. And one of the things that we are always looking to do with this deck is just, improve, whenever we find a hole or something that maybe a deck that we're weak to or some kind of hate that we're weak to, just trying to find different creative ways to do that. So feel free to be thinking about that as we're playing this as well. So let's go ahead and get into some games here. All right. So we won the die roll. Yes, we would like to play first. We were getting a lot of hands like this actually yesterday. These are really strange hands. When I'm playing this deck in paper, I don't really feel like I get a lot of hands like this. But, this hand's pretty fine. Otherwise, we're just missing land. So we can't really keep this. We're going to have to ship this back, unfortunately. 2 Ancient Stirrings is nice, having a combo piece. But we have to ship this back, unfortunately. This hand's much better. We have a 1-mana play here that cycles. We do get a scry off of this, which is really nice. We have 2 lands. Yeah, maybe we want to keep this. No, I think we just kind of want to hit land drops. I mean, we already have a cycler. No, actually, let's just keep this on top. I think cycling is just really good for the deck. One thing that we do have to kind of work on in playing this deck online, there's just so many game actions and things that you have to do sometimes. Oh, so we're playing against Tron. Interesting. Okay. Oftentimes Tron's not really interacting with us much in the early turns, so So Sai, I kind of wanted to make sure I was saving a Chromatic Star to kind of have access to blue mana, even though we have Mox Opal, but that's not really our game plan anymore. Like, Sai is just not going to be like that great against Tron. So I'm going to go ahead and play out this Chromatic Star so that we can actually play a Mox Opal and then use our Mox Opal to cycle. We're going to cycle for green just because of Ancient Stirrings in our deck and making green. And then we'll use the green to actually sack this Chromatic Star, add a green. Arcbound Ravager is a card that we're testing in the deck. Here's just another situation. I want people to convince me that this card is great, but in drawing it here, it just doesn't feel amazing. We can put an Arcbound Ravager on the battlefield and maybe sack a Chromatic Star. I don't know. I'd rather just play this star out right now. I'm really just digging for combo pieces at this point. So we're just really wanting to draw as many cards as possible. So Mox Opal's not really a great draw for us, but Yeah, and we really don't have any of our combo pieces yet, even after cycling, so... So we're playing against blue Tron here. Engineering Explosives is a card that's also not going to do a lot against our opponent. So, I think we're just going to play out this Ravager. Feels kind of awkward here. Like Ravager, we only left one in our main deck, and we did happen to draw it, but it's just another card that just doesn't feel great in a lot of situations. Putting an Engineered Explosives on 0 is doing nothing for us here. If we had some way to cast it for 1 and pop it, we could take out that, but we're just going to go ahead and pass here. Like, we just don't have any other lines of play right now that are great for us. Man, I really want somebody to convince me that Ravager is worth playing, but so many times when I've played it, it just doesn't feel great. So with Teleria West, our opponent does probably have access to like Engineered Explosives maybe in the deck, but let's go ahead and play out a let's go ahead and try to play out a Scrap Trawler here. We can start trying to get some pressure on our opponent if we could resolve it, and then if we start drawing some combo pieces or rocks or something. Yeah, so probably a lot of counter magic we're going to be playing against. Yeah, we can't pay the 1. And we're just passing turn here. So this is definitely a matchup post sideboard where we're going to want the Spell Pierces and or the single Spell Pierce that we have, as well as the Swan Song. Kind of surprised our opponent hasn't cracked this map yet. I think they've just been worried about kind of like keeping interaction up instead. I kind of want to just play... I want to play this Ravager out first just to see if we can bait a counterspell from our opponent. Because maybe they're thinking that this is a card that we're really concerned about resolving when we're really not. So yeah, Snapcaster, maybe Condescend. So we're kind of just hoping that our opponent condescends here, or Remand is fine as well. It also keeps them from cracking the map by spending their mana. But, we do have a little bit of room here to resolve an Ancient Stirrings. Our opponent probably still doesn't quite know what kind of deck we're on yet. I think I just want to take a Mirror Retriever here. Like, we're not really starving for land. We have some Mox Opals. And if we get our other 2 combo pieces, having a Mirror Retriever goes a long way in comboing off. The unfortunate thing here is that it really does give our opponent kind of a heads up on what kind of deck that we're playing and what our strategy is. Mirror Retriever is just not played in that many decks. So, all right. So what is our opponent doing here? Okay, they're attacking. Okay, so we drew a Buried Ruin. 2, 3. I think maybe we just try to play out the Arcbound Ravager again. This is where this card feels so bad. I mean, I guess it's fine. Like, if it resolves, sure. Let's go ahead and play out our Buried Ruin, and then let's see if we can resolve a Mirror Retriever. I doubt this is going to resolve. Our opponent knows that we have it and didn't counter our Arcbound Ravager. Yeah, so they're going to remand. Wow, they've got a lot of remands, huh? Oh, okay, this is because... Yeah, so they casted 1, Snapcasted it, so this is like the 3rd time we're getting remanded. Yeah, so we're just going to pass here. Yep, our opponent will crack map and probably find Urza's tower. That would be my guess. Yep, so they found a tower. Let's see, they have access. Okay, so tapping for 7. Are we gonna see maybe like a Karn or something like that? Like mono blue is just not a color combination. Okay, so Ugin. Ugin's actually fine. We're not really. Sure. Yeah, Ugin's like fine for now. I mean, I guess he can ult and then that's not good for us, but um hmm. So I kind of want to just try to I think our only line in winning here is very slim, but I think our path to victory. Oh, and we can't even do that because we need 3 artifacts to be able to. Yeah, we need 3 or more artifacts to be able to sack this. So that's not going to work. I'd like to have access to blue mana. We could also activate a buried room, but that doesn't do a lot for us either. You know, let's just try to put this explosives on 2. Just to get some more artifacts out here. So yeah, it's kind of unfortunate, you know, when we're playing against Mono Blutron, it's just almost like playing against like a control deck, which, you know, original KCI had a hard time with just because of all the interaction, all the remans and counter spells and things like that. So being able to play that game while also playing the Tron game of going big mana can be very challenging and difficult to do. So you know, now if we pop this explosives, we do take out a Mirror Retriever and which gives us a card back from our graveyard. Sure. And then we also take out Snapcaster. What's our opponent have now? Okay, so they're sacking a map. Probably maybe getting a Ghost Quarter to take out our Inventor's Fair. Oh, okay, a Tectonic Edge. Yeah, that makes sense. Sure. That's fine. Okay, so 3 to us from Ugin. Yeah, I was gonna say we don't really need to attack here. Like we could pop this engineered explosives. There's just not much that I really want to get back from my graveyard. Like, we could get back like a chromatic shard, a cycle. Getting back scrap trawler is not great either because this Ugin's planning to go off next turn. Let's see. Yeah, this is gonna be a really tight for us on this turn to really do much. So if they -10, they get 7 life, draw 7 cards, and put up to 7 permanents from their hand onto the battlefield. That can't be a good thing for us. Let's go ahead and play out Scrap Trawler. So our opponent is taking a minute here, which makes me think that maybe they have a counter spell and are just deciding not to counter that. Like maybe they just have like Remand or something. I guess we could have attacked Ugin there, but I mean, the main thing is like it would still be able to -10 anyway. So okay, so yeah, Trinket Mage, Sundering Titan. Okay, so our opponent can definitely destroy some lands here. Yeah, let's go here. Choose a basic land type and destroy those lands. Choose a land of each basic land type and destroy those lands. Okay. So that's on the stack right now. Just pop our engineered explosives. Yeah, so they'd be returning all of this. That's fine. Probably going to lose our lands, right? Is that what's happening? If so, we definitely need to get to the next game. We got 16 minutes on our clock here. Okay, so they're destroying one of each basic land. Okay, so that's not like the worst possible thing that could happen. With our opponent drawing 7 cards, though, I'm sure that they just have yeah, so they have Tormod's Crypt in their main deck. And this is kind of why we brought in another like Spell Pierce into our sideboard, is just playing against a lot of counter-heavy interaction can be really tough. And that should be enough for us to just kind of wrap it up. For now, go to sideboarding. We definitely want Nature's Claims here. Okay, so our opponent just quit the match. I'm not sure. That's the one thing about playing leagues that's definitely a lot better as well, is there's just more at stake, so you don't have as many people that are just quitting matches like you do sometimes when we're playing on here. It's kind of unfortunate because these sideboard games for decks like this get a lot better for us, being able to bring in our own counter magic and interaction. We're trying to hop into another game here. We just have people are beating us to it. Let's see. Let's try hosting our own match here. Modern. All right, so we actually won the die roll here. Yeah, so we're going to take the play. That's always good for us if we can take the play. Sand is interesting. We don't have a lot of like early eggs to cycle. But we do have an Ancient Stirrings, which might dig us closer to something like our Semblance Anvil. And we do have a Scrap Trawler with 2 grinding stations. So we're just going to go ahead and keep this. And our opponent just mulliganed to 5. So maybe we're playing Dredge. Dredge seems to mulligan a lot when I play against it. Okay, so we're going to lead off with Ancient Stirrings. And right there's our Semblance Anvil, so we're going to go ahead and take that and hope that maybe we're not playing against a Thoughtseize deck. So basically we're set up really good right now. We have 2 grinding stations, we have a scrap trawler and a Semblance Anvil. Basically what we need is a couple of eggs to really work with our scrap trawler triggers that we can get if we wait till turn 4. If we draw something, okay, so we probably are playing against a Thoughtseize Inquisition deck. So they are going to duress probably our Semblance Anvil, I'm guessing, unless they're really scared of scrap trawler, but I'm guessing they're just going to take Semblance Anvil, especially since that's what we took off of Ancient Stirrings. That would be the line that I would be inclined to take. Yep. This is why I like Buried Ruin, and just speaking of Buried Ruin, can just be really good in our deck. There's no reason for us to play a grinding station out at this point because we could potentially just expose it to removal, and we don't want to do that. If we play a scrap trawler out, we could be doing the same thing. So we could play a scrap trawler out next turn if we wanted to, but we could also just play a Buried Ruin so that we can bring... okay, interesting. Hired Poisoner. Now this is starting to look like a limited deck. Are we playing like a weird... okay. And we have a Mirror Retriever. Our opponent has 2 cards in hand. Can't be blocked by humans. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, put a +1/+1 counter on it. And then this is a 1/1 Death Touch. So, because if I play Buried Ruin, we can actually just bring Semblance Anvil back. And that seems like a good line. Yeah, let's do that. We'd really like to be on 4 lands, actually. So our opponent just going to duress or Inquisition again. Oh, okay. So our opponent is not putting much pressure on us with a deck like this. Unless they can really continue to disrupt us a whole lot, then... Yep, so this Vampire will get a counter on it. Second main. Oh, well, we actually held up. I guess that really worked out. We were holding up mana, and it had just passed turn on us, so we actually didn't get to sack this Buried Ruin. But as lucky as we are, we actually drew another Semblance Anvil. Let's see. Yeah, so we can actually go Semblance Anvil, Grinding Station. We just really need some eggs. So it's a little awkward for us right now. But I don't think that we would be playing an abrupt... Like, they could have Culligan's Command or something like that we would be exposing ourselves to. But yeah, we'd really like to have some eggs. See, I think if I just pass turn after playing out this Yavimai's Coast, I can sack. I don't really want to do that either because I'd like to be able to just play like my scrap trawler out as well. Yeah, let's just so I think I'm okay with the line here of going just playing our Semblance Anvil out. And then we are going to yield to the ability, and then we're going to exile a Grinding Station since we have 2. And we have Buried Ruin in case they, destroy something again, but gets more of our cards out of our hand as well in case they draw like a duress. So let's see here. Let's go ahead and play out this Grinding Station. And then with the trigger on the stack, we're actually going to mill ourselves and just sack this Darksteel Citadel. start getting some cards in our graveyard. So we have a Terrarion, a Grinding Station, a Semblance Anvil. And then we're going to go ahead and put a Scrap Trawler out. We don't really want to sack our Scrap Trawler. I mean, if we do that, bring back a Grinding Station or Terrarion, but having the Scrap Trawler in play is much more important to us right now. And then we're also just going to play out this Mirror Retriever as well. And we can actually sack the Mirror Retriever to bring back Terrarion, and then we would draw a card. We don't have any zeros in our graveyard other than this Darksteel Citadel. If we sack the Mirror Retriever, like we still have Scrap Trawler right now to be able to bring something back. But I think I'm actually just going to pass turn here. Yeah, I think we're actually just going to pass turn here. We'll have Buried Ruin online next turn that we can bring back something like a Grinding Station and sack that, or even, yeah, and then we can sack the Grinding Station to our Grinding Station, bring back Terrarion, milling ourselves for 3. Interesting. Drana. I used to play this in Standard. This kind of looks like a Standard deck, but does our opponent attack here with the 2/2? Okay, so just the 1/1. We're fine with taking 1. And our opponent's tapped out right now. So that's a good draw. Let's go ahead and start. Like, we could, because we actually could just sack this Buried Ruin to bring back a Grinding Station, mill, because we only need another Mirror Retriever, and we get a lot of looks. So I think I actually like just sacrificing this. If we had one more land, we could start with the Semblance Anvil, which gives us the ability to see more cards, but yeah, we have to just start with Grinding Station. So and you know, Ancient Stirrings is really great, and maybe seems like you know, that could have been a good play as well, but we're going to see a lot of cards with how we're about to play this out because of our Scrap Trawler triggers, etc. We even have technically a 0 drop because of the Darksteel Citadel. And now we have a true 0 drop in Mox Opal in our graveyard, so that's good for us. So we're going to play this. And it's going to be pretty hard for us to whiff here, I think, especially already having another Mirror Retriever. So we sacked a 1 drop for a 0. So we'll bring back a Mox Opal and then draw a card. We drew another Ancient Stirrings. Interesting. That's actually fine for us. Yeah, no other Mirror Retrievers yet, but we're going to go ahead and play this. Just going to give us another trigger to put cards in our graveyard before we even go digging. So we're going to tap this for a green, and then we're going to choose to mill ourselves. So let's see. Yeah, no other Mirror Retrievers yet, but we do have a green floating. So let's go ahead and look for another Mirror Retriever. And there's our Mirror Retriever. So our opponent might not realize it yet, but they actually, unless they have some strange way to interact, like a surgical. So less than 2, we'll bring back Terrarion, and let's start yielding to some of these triggers. And then with this, we'll just bring back Mox Opal. So we're going to start yielding to some of these because we do need to play quickly. So we're going to have a lot of triggers to kind of get through as well, because we're going to be, with Scrap Trawler in play and then Mirror Retriever dying, we're going to have just a lot of triggers here, but which is kind of the tedious part of playing it online. Okay, so at this point, we're just milling our opponent. Let's see, so we are going to bring back a, okay, yeah, so our opponent, okay, they just quit the entire match. They realized what we were up to, and the fact that we just kind of had them locked with a combo that they couldn't interact with, so. Okay, so we lost the die roll. This is another bad hand that would have been good with one land. I would have kept this, but unfortunately we cannot keep that on the draw. It's definitely tempting. This is better. Let's see what's on top, because we do get a scry. Our opponent mulled a 6-2, so we don't need another land, so we're going to put that on the bottom. Okay. We've been playing against a lot of black-white decks lately. Like we played against like black-white tokens. We don't really know exactly what we're playing against yet, which kind of makes me not want to play out Ancient Stirrings, but let's go ahead and just do it. Okay, so we do have a grinding station, 3 grinding stations all in a row. That means all of these are going to the bottom, so that's going to be a challenge if say they Thoughtseize a grinding station or something. Okay, so our opponent so far is elected to do nothing, which is really strange. So we're going to play out a Pyrite Spellbomb. And then we're going to play out a Grove and pass the turn. This leaves us with the flexibility. If they play a creature that we want to deal with or something like that, then we can sacrifice our Spellbomb and destroy the creature. Or we can actually just like cycle this at the end of the turn. Oh, so we're playing against Esper. Okay, that explains maybe why they weren't doing a whole lot in the early turns. Oh, this is like a weird Esper deck. We just keep playing against counter magic over and over again. Is our opponent going to click us? Vendilion click, maybe? No? Black? Oh, Esper Charm? Maybe? Yeah. So they're going to have us discard 2 cards. Tapping out is a bold move, my friend. Sure, we're going to discard 2 cards. And those 2 cards are going to be Psi and Engineering Explosives. And then we drew another Semblance Anvil. Like, while our opponent is tapped out, it might just be good to, like, they could just have Detention Sphere or something like that, but it might just be good to try to get some of these cards out here right now. I'm going to choose not to sack anything yet, because I'd really like to be able to draw off of this Pyrite Spellbomb. Let's see. So we have a Mox Opal. I still, yeah, that's still not enough to bait me to want to use this yet. So this Minimo School at Water's Edge is a really strange card to have in like an Esper control deck. So I'm still not totally sure if like we're playing, like maybe they're just gonna go to Fairy here. Oh, okay. So they can exile that and a permanent. Oh, I see. And then they can untap it with Minimo, maybe while the trigger's on the stack, and get 2 permanents. I was planning on drawing a card with this Pyrite Spellbomb, but I think we just have to, we really just have to shoot that down. We don't really want our cards getting exiled. Okay. A grinding station. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and just play out another grinding station here. You know, and we could mill ourself. Yeah, I think we actually are going to mill ourselves with this untapped trigger on the stacks. We do have Buried Ruin. So, you know, if there's something that we really want from that, then we can definitely get that. Okay, so nothing too great yet. I think I'm just gonna, you know, I think we were actually gonna sack this Mox Opal in their instep earlier, and we just didn't. Our opponent could be land flooded. They have a lot of cards in their hand. Let's go ahead and just sack this Mox Opal. So we have a Mirror Retriever in our graveyard that we could bring back, but our opponent may just have some kind of interaction, but this might just bait a counterspell if they have one. I'd be really surprised if they, I think we just have to like take Mirror Retriever here, right? Like maybe they have Path or something, but yeah, I think we just have to take Mirror Retriever. And then see if they have a counterspell or some way to interact with it. The nice thing is it's really hard for them to interact sometimes just because if they do have a path or something, the timing on it's kind of weird because it's sacrificed to an ability, which is part of paying the cost. And so it's already sacrificed when we're doing this. So see, now our opponent, now that they're kind of seeing the loop maybe, or the fact that we can just keep chaining Mirror Retrievers, if they have a counter spell or some kind of interaction, they're definitely going to want to use it. Yeah, I was going to say our opponent's kind of tanking a little bit. Sure. So our opponent has 2 cards. They finally did interact with the Mana Leak. It was kind of a shame that we didn't just have like another land up because we could have just, if we had another mana floating or something that turn, then we could have just, I'm going to play a draw spell or something. Okay. So they're going to draw a card. So they're going to see some more cards here. Ooh, this is nice. Threw another Mirror Retriever. So now we can kind of get them here, I think, because we can bring this Mirror Retriever back, and if they counter it or something, we still have another one in hand. Unless they have like Cryptic Command and they bounce our Semblance Anvil, then that's kind of unfortunate for us. But or maybe they're just trying to get to, like, we could also be putting them onto Snapcaster right now. Like if they have a Snapcaster. I haven't seen Snapcaster yet, but if they have Snapcaster, then we could definitely be fueling their graveyard here, but I think maybe if they would have drawn Snapcaster, they would have just probably countered that, right? Or something. Okay. What do we got here? Think twice. Okay. So they're spending mana. Okay. So we got that game. Whew. Squeaked it out. So we definitely want, I think, Defense Grid here. I didn't see any Snapcasters, so I'm not sure about Tormod's Crypt. We definitely saw some creatures that could be a pain in their list. It seemed like a more tempo-y, kind of like mid-rangey list. We're expecting our opponent to bring in some kind of hate and interaction against us. I'm sorry, Arcbound Ravager, but I'm just not ever that thrilled with you. I think one explosives in the deck is still fine. I think we also just kind of, I think we just kind of trim some pieces off of our combo here, and then we bring in some more interaction. So we definitely can bring in another Psy. We can bring in our counter magic. I think we can bring in I think we can cut a Terrarion as well, and Pirate Spellbomb is still fine. It's an alternate like win condition if we don't want to fuel their graveyard for whatever reason. This might be a matchup maybe where we want Antiquities War. Some of those creatures are pretty nasty. Maybe we just cut the explosives and one Mox Opal. I like having my zeros in the deck though with Psy, but and maybe we just cut this Pyrite Spellbomb. And then what if we bring in Antiquities War and then something like 2 Galvanic Blast and 2 Nature's Claims. So let's see. What does that leave us with here? 27 cards in our main deck that are all still artifacts that work well with other things. Yeah, let's go like this. Yeah, good point. Yeah, they do have white sideboard cards, I'm sure, which is why we want to bring in some number of Nature's Claims. Oh, this hand's actually really good. This hand's actually pretty good to start, but we're missing a land. We're on the draw, and I don't know if I want to be that greedy. So I think we just have to mulligan this. But yeah, and because of the white sideboard cards, that's why we're kind of trimming some of our Oh, wow. Okay, our opponent just quit the match. That happens a lot, I think, with this deck. I don't blame opponents that may not want to play against this. Or I didn't even get to see. Maybe our opponent was just mulliganing down as well. This hand looks fine, actually. I'm going to keep this. Oh man, we're playing against another blue deck. We just played against so many. Yep. Right, let's lead off with a Chromatic Star so that we can cycle it next turn into an Ancient Stirrings. Sometimes, you know, I will hold this Ancient Stirrings and I won't play it out until like maybe turn 4 so that I can try to bait a counterspell with this Ancient Stirrings and then just try to like drop like a KC. Oh, okay. Is this taking turns? They're going to draw us cards, which is nice. That's very nice of them. Okay. So we're drawing off of our Chromatic Star. We'll use the green for Ancient Stirrings. 2 Mirror Retrievers, which are going to have to go to the bottom, I think, because we're going to take Semblance Anvil. Semblance Anvil is really nice because we're playing against taking turns and they're tapping our lands. Then yeah, if they're tapping our lands, then we can kind of just play out most of our artifacts for free or at a really cheap cost. Definitely provides a problem with being able to cycle them unless we get something online like a. Guessing they have something that's gonna like tap our lands or allow us not to untap. Like the likelihood of us being able to cast a Semblance Anvil on 3 next turn is probably pretty slim. I'm guessing in our upkeep they're going to pause us. They didn't pause us, did they? That's really interesting. Well, in that case, I'd really, you know, drawing cards is great for us. I kind of almost want to be able to explosives the Howling Mine, but I just can't do that yet. So, Darksteel Citadel is good if we get. Do we cycle this? Maybe I don't cycle this yet. Well, yeah, I think we do because if we draw. Yeah, so let's do green, blue, draw a card. Okay, we're drawing a lot of cards here. You know, our opponent probably does have counter magic as well, huh? So let's just play out. Okay, so we resolved a Semblance Anvil. That's interesting. I think I'm actually going to get rid of this Pyrite Spellbomb. This actually helps us get cards out of our hand too, which is nice, so we don't have to discard to hand size. Alright. Do your worst, opponent. Okay, that's pretty good. Never mind. Don't do your worst. They're drawing cards. So many cards. We're going to draw cards too, though. I don't know how much counter magic. Actually, I don't know if I've seen like the blue-white version that much. Serum Vision, sure. upkeep, do they just like tap some of our lands or something? I guess that's why these are kind of nice, actually, having these in play, because still get to kind of use our mana. They were going to tap target permanent. Okay. Sure. Let's just go ahead and tap that. Not going to make much of a difference, but okay, so they are going to start tapping our permanents down, but it's kind of nice because we're going to draw 3 cards this turn. Our card for turn, no, 4 cards, right? We're going to draw our card for turn, and then we're going to draw yeah, our card for turn. Ooh, Grinding Station, that's a nice one. Yeah, we got to let that mana go, but so that was our card for turn. Drew a card off of Chromatic Star. We're going to draw 2 more cards here, Howling Mine and Dictate of Crufix. So they did tap our colored mana. So that does, at least for the moment, prevent us from... Okay, so let's go ahead and play out a Grinding Station since we get to play this card for free. I'm a little hesitant to sack lands here because they're going to be trying to tap our lands, and I want to have probably as many as possible unless I already had like a Mirror Retriever or something in play. But let's just see what this draws us. Okay. Yeah, so let's see what they do. Oh, I must discard. How many cards do we have? 8. We have 8 cards. So we'll just get rid of... we kind of want our colored mana just in case. I think I'm just going to get rid of... And we want this to be able to sack. Yeah, maybe I just get rid of a forest here. Kind of like a scrap trawler would be a nice draw. Our opponent is definitely drawing a lot of good cards as well, I'm sure. What could this be? Take another turn. So our opponent is going to be taking turns here, drawing a lot of cards. It's kind of a shame that we don't have like a scrap trawler online, where we could just try to mill our opponent if they just draw a ton of cards without killing us. I'm sure they just like start attacking with Celestial Colonnade eventually, right? They're drawing 3 cards a turn now. Yep, I'm going to put always yield on these because I really want to just be able to hold F6 and that our opponent will just continue to do their thing. Yeah, Pyrite in case of Nexus of Fate definitely could be something to think about for sure. You know, I haven't really played against this blue-white version. I think the Taking Turns deck I remember was Daniel Wong's black-blue Taking Turns deck. It was like a year or two in Vegas. Let's see. Let's see here. So they probably, so they just kill us by starting to attack with Celestial Colonnades? Is that is that what the plan is here? Okay. So they're drawing another card. Man, it would be really sweet if like our opponent got down to 6 cards or something and we could just grinding station and mill them out 6 cards before they kill us. The white was to have, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Like Stony and Rest in Peace are just so good. Okay. Okay, so he's trying to tap all of our permanents here. Do we want to just like mill them for 6 here? Do we want to mill them for 6? Because we have the option now with this on the stack to sacrifice our Darksteel Citadel. Oh no, we can't because we need a way to untap our grinding station after that, and we could mill our opponent for 3, but I don't really. Milling them for 3 is not as great. I'm not as much on board as like milling them for 6, so I think that's fine. Okay, so sure, creatures and lands. Yeah, we lose the mana, we don't care. So these two actually untap for us. This could actually end up bad for our opponent here. So I think this is a turn where we just kind of like mill our opponent as much as we can. I don't think we have a very good chance of winning here. Yeah, we can't play the Buried Ruin and get like Darksteel Citadel Mox Opal. So yeah, I think we just try to like do our best to mill our opponent here. So let's mill them for 3, sack the Darksteel Citadel. Play the Darksteel Citadel. This is going to untap. We're going to tap it for a mana, and then we're going to mill them for 3, sacrificing Darksteel Citadel. Then we're going to play a Mox Opal. If we just had one more mana and we could do 3, that would be so sweet because we could play Psy and start getting value off of that as well. But I don't think we're going to get there. So we're going to mill our opponent with this. And then we're going to, yeah, we just have a colorless, so that would only be for 1 anyway. Just going to play it for 0. That's going to untap. That's fine. And then we're going to mill our opponent. And then we're going to play a grinding station, which is going to, okay. 6, 5. Yeah, because we could have milled them down to 2, and then they have to draw 3 cards. So they would have just lost. So, whew, we squeaked that one out. So yeah, if the white is for Rest in Peace and Nature's Claim, or Rest in Peace and Stony Silence, we probably want Nature's Claims. Defense Grid seems really good here. I don't know if they play Snapcasters. It's possible. I think we want our Counter Magic. Like Semblance Anvil is really good there because they're trying to tap our mana. I don't know. Like maybe we still want 2 size in our deck. I'm not sold on like having a third one because casting 3 mana spells is going to be really difficult. I think I can safely get rid of Ravager maybe. I think this is probably where we can just kind of shave as we normally do, just on kind of shaving a little bit on our combo here. Just bringing in more interaction. Explosives doesn't hit a lot. I mean, it does hit some pretty important cards in our deck, but we're also bringing in like Nature's Claim, so I think we can cut at least 1. And yeah, I think I saw you mention. We want Pyrite Spellbomb. They must have no Nexus if they scooped, so you can probably cut Pyrite. Okay. Yeah, let's do that. Let's cut Pyrite. Unless they have it. Do you think they have it in the sideboard? Is that like a thing? Do they just have a Nexus of Fate for like grindy games in the sideboard? So right now we're at 60 if we cut Pyrite Spellbomb. I think I'm okay with this configuration right here. Although, do we want just more alternate win conditions in the deck? Like having another Psy or even the Antiquities War. I'm sure they're bringing in a bunch of like negates and things like that. So like that's probably where Psy is good to maybe try to get through some of those things. But that is a challenge. Do we want... So we've already cut that. We've already cut that. I'm going to cut 1 Wellspring. And then we're going to do this. Yeah. Yeah, maybe we 4 Station, 4 Anvil, trimming 1 Mirror. Yeah, we probably do need to just kind of like win as fast as possible. Oh, I don't really want to mulligan. I think we have to, though. I think we just have to mulligan this. A Nature's Claim. I thought we had 2 Nature's Claim for a minute. I was like, it seems pretty fine. Yeah, maybe we just... Can we scry another land on top? I kind of just want to see another land, so... I guess actually that would have been fine. I was thinking we're on the play. We're on the draw, so Chromatic Star actually would have been fine on the draw. I could have just left that on top and been happy. Would have been better than a Mox Opal. Yikes. I don't really want to play this Terrarion out if I don't have another land to cast it. Or, sorry, if I don't have another land to crack it. It makes it really awkward, but... I think I am going to just play it out. And then go ahead and play out a Mox Opal as well. I don't see a Mox Opal as something that they'd want to like counter per se, but I think that, yeah, so we get to untap and draw an extra card here. And then I think we just definitely claim this, right? Like there's just no way we don't claim here. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, you want to race, but we also lose the white sideboard cards. Yeah, and that's another reason, like, a lot of times why I'm just bringing in, like, cards like Psy and just really trying to juke them, because sometimes they do just slam a Stony Silence, and if you don't have a Nature's Claim, like, hitting something like a Psy or something when they're not prepared for it can really just do a lot. Okay, so we're going to play... let's play this. Let's go ahead and crack for green. We could Ancient Stirrings, if we get a 1-drop, then that turns on Opal to be able to do that, but don't really want to be tied to just getting a 1-mana artifact just for that value, though. Yeah, if they do untap and play a white sideboard card, that's definitely unfortunate for us, but I think just slowing them down is going to be really crucial. And we do have 4 in our deck and a lot of ways to draw cards, so I think I'm just going to start by adding green here, because we have Ancient Stirrings and Nature's Claims. So we're going to start with this, and we'll take the Semblance Anvil. Goodbye, Swan Song. You will be dearly missed. Excuse me. We have a green mana floating that we will use on this Howling Mine. I think it's really important to try to slow our opponent down as much as possible so that they can untap and slam a Stony Silence on us and immediately punish us for our decision. He tapped 2 blue, which he wasn't meaning to do. Okay. Ooh, did they just not have another land? That seems really good. I'm really tempted, since they don't have another land, to just try to slam a Semblance Anvil, but that might just be a little too greedy with the amount of mana that they have up. We do have a Buried Ruin, so we can always, like, bring it back. Let's see. Yeah, cutting off their draws reduces their ability to draw into them. Do we just slam the Anvil here? I think they're holding up 2 mana, but they didn't draw a land. So if we give them more time, we could just be drawing them into more cards and like Dictate a Crucifix or something. But I think we just try to slam it. And if they have negate, like, okay, interesting. I was gonna say, if they have like negate or something like that, then maybe we just play out Mirror Retriever and Scrap Trawler if they don't have like the counterspell. We could be playing them into Path, but I think I'm okay with that at this point because we can use our Mox Opal to play out this Scrap Trawler. Now do they want to counter? Oh, okay. Disenchant. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, we still have our Buried Ruin. They did like 2-for-1 us, which is really unfortunate, but you know, we still have 4 power on the board too, which is, you know, not irrelevant. And we have let's see here. So we could go 1-2 sack. I don't think we want to do that yet. 1, 2, 3, 4. We actually have enough. Oh, okay, wow. They just conceded. Interesting. I was gonna say we have enough for Inventor's Fair as well to tutor for something in their instep if we would like to as well. So yeah, for sure. Yeah, with them missing another land drop, like I think at that point it was just too it was too juicy to not just slam the Semblance Anvil there. and taking off this Howling Mine was clutch, and that's just the power of Nature's Claim that I love, because it's just such a versatile card as well, because it deals with our opponent's hate cards, but it also deals with some cards that our opponents, like in this instance, that are playing that are just really good against us. I mean, a Nature's Claim can kill an Eidolon, a Nature's Claim can kill, obviously the hate cards like Rest in Pieces and Leyline of the Voids, but it also kills Ink Moth Nexus, and it also kills Cranial Platings and other problematic enchantments that could be an issue. So yeah, so it's really good. Anyway, if you guys are tuned in, thank you so much for tuning into the stream. I really appreciate you guys checking it out and stopping by and hanging out with us. If you guys haven't already done so, I would really appreciate it if you guys would follow the stream. I would love to have you guys as followers, and thank you so much for joining into the stream, and hope to continue to be able to provide some content for you guys. We're testing this KCI 2.0 deck for Vegas, GP Vegas. I've really been impressed by this deck. I think this deck is great. I think it has a lot of game in the meta, and I think it has the ability to perform, with contending against top tier decks. So this deck has been very consistent for me as well. We're not always going to win them all, but the deck has felt very consistent. Our opponent mulliganed here to 6, which causes me to maybe want to keep this 7. I'm not like thrilled with it. We're a little land heavy, including a Mox Opal. We have 1 combo piece, but we do have an Ancient Stirrings, and we are on the draw. So I think we just keep this. Ancient Stirrings is nice because it gives us flexibility being on the draw. We're going to see what our opponent's playing first. This could be Burn. Yeah, so it looks like we're playing against Burn. So Burn is definitely going to put a clock on us. So we really would like to be able to thank you guys so much for the follow. Really appreciate it. Would really like to be able to hit our combo as fast as possible here, because they're going to be putting pressure on us. All right, so decisions. And Venter's Fair is an incredible card against Burn because it gains us a life each turn, but we do have to have 3 artifacts in play, and we're kind of a long way off from having that. Engineered Explosives can take care of this Monastery Swift Spear, which is okay. We're still not taking care of it like next turn either, most likely, even if we take the Engineered Explosive. So I think I just want to take the Chromatic Star here, because we really just want to hit our combo as fast as possible. Like, I think that's how we, although I think there's an argument though, like if they just slam Eidolon next turn, it's going to feel really bad that we didn't take the Engineered Explosives. But we're hoping to not see Eidolon yet. So the reason I'm on 4 Bolt and 4 Claim, I think the original list that I saw posted was playing 3 Claims and 2 Monastery Swift Spears. That's pretty good. I was going to say, now that Engineered Explosives looks really good. The reason I'm on 4 Claims to start with is just that it's such a powerful card against all the sideboard cards against us, the cards that really shut us down. And I also really like it in this matchup because we can, like, Nature's Claim an Ichor Wellspring, gain 4 life, or get rid of like an Eidolon. So I've found the card. Oh, perfect. We drew a Semblance Anvil. I've found that I think we're just going to play this out and then maybe play Chromatic Star. I'm not sure that I want to cycle it yet. So we're just going to pass turn here. I found that Nature's Claim is just such a vital card. And the reason I'm on... so I'm actually on 2 Bolts and 2 Galvanic Blast. the rest of you guys found after you trimmed 3 of each to make room for sideboard, carns, etc. Yeah, and that could be correct too. Yeah, the original list I saw was like 3, and I actually ran 3 last night. I was actually only running 1 bolt and 2 galvanic blast. I like galvanic blast a little bit more in the meta right now because of its ability to hit Thing in the Ice, with Is It Phoenix being like one of the top decks right now. So I really like that, but you know, I could also see like cutting to 3 and 3. I think that's totally fine. I think I'm just a little bit greedy. I love Nature's Claim and just being able to draw into them, and sometimes your opponent just has multiple hate cards, and that card's just really good. And it's been really versatile for me so far. Let's see. So we're at 11. Let's see. We can play Simulant's Anvil. We have Grinding Station. And then Buried Ruin is a card that we can untap with next turn. I think we're just going to start by yeah, let's go ahead and actually just play out this Semblance Anvil. We could potentially be playing it into some kind of weird hate that they might have, like a Colligan's Command or something, but seems like if you're an aggressively slanted deck, that Colligan's Command might be a little high on your curve. Okay, so we're going to get rid of this, and then we're going to cycle this for green and hope to hit something relevant. That's pretty relevant. Let's cast this Ancient Stirrings and see what we hit. So there's a Mirror Retriever. So I think I do want to take a Mirror Retriever here. And we can actually just play Mirror Retriever out as a blocker if we'd like. We don't really need this Mox Opal anymore, so if we just hit like another Mirror Retriever here, then we can win. But we did not. So we kind of have the line of being able to block and then sack our Mirror Retriever in response next turn. So I'm not going to sacrifice it here, because we definitely kind of maybe just want to throw it in front of one of these Monastery Swift Spears if possible. And having access to Buried Ruin next turn, we can just bring it right back. We're really just looking for our second Mirror Retriever. Yeah, and Crackling Drake too, yeah. Galvanic Blast, being able to hit Crackling Drake is definitely relevant. Yeah, this deck is very interesting. I don't know what we're playing against. Another thing about sometimes when we're not playing in League, we see these weird decks come up. Yeah, it's like Mardu, Swift Spears, Lingering Souls. Our opponent started with a Mulligan. I think they're tanking really hard right now. Another Swift Spear. They're definitely playing Swifties. Okay. Sure. We're not dead yet, right? 8, and then we take 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's say like a gut shot or like a surgical extraction or something. So we're definitely going to throw this Mirror Retriever in front of one of these Monastery Swift Spears, assuming our opponent will be so kind to allow us the opportunity to do so. Really glad they didn't have like another land, and we're able to like bolt our Mirror Retriever. What if our opponent just doesn't attack because they're so terrified of Mirror Retriever? That would be amazing. Yeah, we're definitely gonna throw it in front of a Swifty here. And after blocks are declared, we'll sack to mill ourselves. So what are we going to? 2 maybe? So let's bring back, we kind of want to bring back something to cycle with. So we're going to bring back a chromatic star. Be so busted if Mirror Retriever could just bring himself back. Hey, there's Saucy Boy logged in. Saucy Boy, got him. Got him. It's my buddy Timmy, just logged into the stream. Welcome, Tim. Please, if you haven't yet, follow me on Twitch. You know where to find me. All right, so we're definitely taking some damage here, going to 2. So we have an Arcbound Ravager. We have still 1 Mirror Retriever. Give us a good draw. Buried Ruin's not the good draw I was looking for. That is not the good draw I was looking for. Let's start by playing out this Chromatic Star and milling ourselves and seeing 4 new cards. Give us a good draw, Chromatic Star. Oh, Scrap Trawler. Scrap Trawler is actually a really good draw because we still only have, what, 1 Mirror Retriever? This is why the original list I saw, I think, had 3 Scrap Trawlers. Go off, I guess. That's kind of where we're at right now with this is, let's see here. So, yeah, with Scrap Trawler, this is an instance where Scrap Trawler is just really powerful because basically each one of these untapped lands represents a time that we can play this Scrap Trawler and sack it to bring Mirror Retriever back, milling ourselves for 3, and then replaying the Mirror Retriever for free, sacking it, bringing back Scrap Trawler, and then playing Scrap Trawler again with this land, playing Scrap Trawler again with this land, and doing that cycle and seeing, 6 new cards each time. So I think we just go off here. Go off, I guess. I think it's going to be really hard for us to lose here. Watch, I say that, and they're just going to have like some random spell in here, like a surgical or something that just blows us out. Anyway, so we're going to start by sacking this Scrap Trawler. Scrap Trawler was a great draw. And then we're going to bring back our Mirror Retriever. And we are eventually going to get to that second Mirror Retriever. We are going to get there. We are getting there. A lot of game actions, though, which is really pressuring on our time clock, which is always a pain. Oh, we got our other Mirror Retriever. Okay. Well, that's fine. Go off, I guess. I guess we just win. I mean, what else are we gonna do? We might as well just win at 2 life. So yeah, we're gonna. Okay, yeah. All right, whatever deck you are. They have that Lava Spike. They have Eidolon somewhere. Yeah. Yeah, winning's okay, I guess. Like, it's fine. It's fine to just go off. All right. So help me out, Twitch chat. Let's go through this a little bit. We have 2 minutes and 30 seconds. I think we want the Nature's Claims, right? Like, they have white, so they can bring in white cards against us, and also Nature's Claims, really great at gaining us life and killing Eidolon, which is very relevant. Do we just want like the full playset of removal here? Like, do we want to sideboard into like a more like teamer control-y shell that just combos off as well? I don't want the Antiquities War. That's too slow. Sai's a really good blocker. I just don't know that that's where we want to be in this matchup. Could be really slow. Engineer Explosives could be good. Spell Pierce, I think, is good. Swan Song can be a little awkward because it gives them a 2/2, and they're already pressuring our life total. Although it does stop like cards like Destructive Revelry and things like that. Sai our burn spells and claims in. So side out burn spells. Is that what you're saying? Sai out burn spells. Bring in everything that kills it. Okay, leave in Pyrites and EEs. Psi out. We got the need for speed. Yep. Okay, so let's just cut the size then. If you're saying leave engineer explosives in, and if we want to try to go off as quick as possible, I don't think we need Ravager. We need to cut 6 cards. Ugh. I like all of these cards. Going as quick as possible, though, is not going to be as easy. I think we can cut maybe 1 Mox Opal. We're going to have to cut a Scrap Trawler, I think. Like, do we cut a Spell Pierce? Yeah. Let's trim an EE. Let's trim... Can we just trim... We could trim a Mirror Retriever. Like, Pyrite's good. We have a lot of early interaction. Like, Spell Pierce. Let's trim the Spell Pierce. It's probably really good, but... and then let's just trim an Ichor Wellspring. I think that's more for the grindy ducks. Yeah, let's do this. Let's gas it up. Ooh, this hand's awkward. If they like Stony Silence us, I mean, we still draw a card. Got him. We have Lightning Bolt for some early interaction. We're on the draw. This hand looks pretty... Let me see here. Maybe if I move my cards around a little bit, then I feel better about keeping this. Oh, that actually makes me feel worse. Keeping a 5-lander. I don't think we keep this, right? Like, we're trying to race. This hand does not race. It has interaction, but it does not race. And we have a lot of interaction in the deck. This hand wants to race. If we draw a 3rd land, if they have no interaction, and then we draw a 3rd land, and we get a scry off of this, and we're on the draw. I mean, it's probably, I don't know, though. I kind of just want to hit. No, I think this is fine. Let's just do it. No Nature's Claims yet, but and we don't have any green mana yet either. Red mana would be nice. Ew, Goblin Guide. Gross. I don't want you, Goblin Guide. How dare you reveal my secrets, you bastard. Alright, well. Meet your fate, Goblin Guide. We have a Spell Bomb. We don't have red mana yet, but you're going to give it to us. Interesting. Interesting choice. Faithless Looting. Maybe now they're going to play an Arclight Phoenix out of the graveyard. And then they're going to play some Lingering Souls and some Swift Spears. Confuse the hell out of us. Let's see. Terrarion. Interesting. We do have an Inventor's Fair, which can gain us some life, so that's nice. But we kind of want red mana, so I really want to utilize my mana this turn, but yeah, they're not burning us. They're playing Faithless Looting, so I don't really care if they play Faithless Lootings. I'm going to play out this Terrarion because I'm not really spending my mana super efficiently, but I want to be able to crack this Pyrite Spellbomb if needed next turn. Especially if they idle on us. Oh, okay. Well, that... we should have sacked our Pyrite Spellbomb too late. That's usually okay for us too, like when opponents... hey, we're still gaining life though. Can't stop that, Stony Silence. Oh, gas. Oh, we can't even tap our Darksteel Citadel. Ow. That is... That is really something. Yeah, we definitely should have cracked that Pyrite Spell Bomb just for a card. It's really unfortunate when we draw the Darksteel Citadel against the Stony Silence draw. We might just be dead here. Oh, there's Eidolon. Now we have some really tough. Yeah, we still have to like take the Stony Silence off because then we draw. That's probably not gonna do it. Let's see here. Do we have any outs? If we just pass, which we're obligated to do, we're taking 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, going to 6. As soon as we play any spell, we're going to 4. And man, this hand was so close. But yeah, I think we just need to go to the next game. We definitely know that they have Stony Silence. We were expecting that though. Engineer Explosives is actually, yeah, I think 1's still fine. Like, it's not great at, man, Sai just seems like such a good blocker though, but I still don't think we want it. I still think this is correct. But yeah, Engineer Explosives is usually a card that we can deal with hate cards with, but obviously it doesn't deal with Stony Silence. So yes, we would like to play first, and thank you. This could be a hand that if they don't have the Stony Silence draw, maybe we can go off pretty quick. So I'm just going to keep it. This hand is really weak to Stony Silence right now, but just because it shuts off literally all of our mana, except for this Buried Ruin. But I mean, if we're in a racing situation, we just like we can't just assume that they have everything. Hey, there's our green mana for the Nature's Claim we're gonna draw. Heyo. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and get some use out of these before our opponent tries to shut us down. Let's go green and red because we don't want to forget that we have bolts and things like that in our deck. We could play Mirror Retriever out as a blocker. That seems fine. And then, yeah, like we do want to race though. But yeah, let's just play Mirror Retriever out. I'm fine with that. And then I'm also fine with, I think we could Ancient Stirrings here and look for a Semblance Anvil. And if we find Semblance Anvil, we just win unless they get like unless they have Stony Silence. But Stony Silence is still really unfortunate for us. Well, there's a Galvanic Blast. Don't want any more Darksteel Citadels. Another Mirror Retriever. I think I'm more interested in taking a Scrap Trawler because it blocks better. Can block an Eidolon or something. All right, do your worst, opponent. At least in these racing situations, we usually are going to finish this game one way or the other. Our opponent's just going to like bolt us to death and shut us down before we can do anything, or Stony Silence. Oh, Thoughtseize. Okay, interesting. The correct play is to, well, depending on what they have, I guess, but I don't know what's in their hand, but probably Grinding Station is a good take here because, I mean, we still have Buried Ruin to get it back, but I don't know that they're really worried about too many of the other cards. Maybe he just wants to take Scrap Trawler because Scrap Trawler is actually like trades with some of their creatures. Our opponent has not Faithless Looted us yet. What is going on here? There has to be a Faithless Looting played. Tormod's Crypt, sure. Bolt Mirror Retriever, sure. Knew that was coming. Mirror Retriever dies. Bring back the card that you got rid of, and then you sack your Tor Mod script. That's fine. Yeah, you got it, buddy. Well, we're still not under a lot of pressure. Ooh, that's pretty juicy. I like that. Man, I really wanted to play this Scrap Trawler out too. But I think the correct play is in case they get rid of the Scrap Trawler. Or like, yeah, let's just go ahead and play this out. Yeah, I want to keep red mana up to hit this Goblin Guide. So that way we're kind of set up in case they want to Stony Silence us this next turn. We can just kind of crack things in response to it. Because we have the green to sack the Chromatic Star, and then we have red with Mox Opal to kill this pesky Goblin Guide right now. Or a Swift Spear. Interesting. Oh, there's the Faithless Looting. We knew that was coming. So, Swift Spear is definitely... Oh, and they're playing Bloodghast too. That's interesting. Oh, there it comes. There comes the old Bloodghast. So I think we still just need to like buy ourselves some time here and just take out the Goblin Guide. We're seeing a lot more cards in a normal burn deck though too, so it's a good chance they might just hit a Stony soon. Let's let this Goblin Guide trigger resolve. Grinding Station. Well, that's pretty decent. Yeah, let's go ahead and crack this for red so we can draw a card, I think. Yeah, let's do it. Pay one for red, and then draw a card, and then that switches Grinding Station. And then we will use the red to kill off Goblin Guide. And then we still have a Swift Spear to worry about, but... Lightning Bolt seems like a fine draw. I'm just going to go ahead and play out this Scrap Trawler. I think maybe we just bolt the Swift Spear now. Because they can play like 2 spells next turn and save it. So I think I feel better about just bolting it now. Okay, here we go. Another Goblin Guide. I think I'm okay with trading with this. Ooh. Okay. Another Goblin Guide. So I think we definitely need to kind of make some trades here. Let's see what the triggered abilities show. Engineered Explosives. Ooh. Ooh. Do we even want to trade? Like, if we don't trade, we're taking 2, 4, 6. Going to 8 against a burn deck. Is really interesting. But they have to kind of top deck a lot of answers. Do we want to block here? Let's see. Like this blood gas is continuing to be a pain. If we block, we actually can bring back the Pyrite Spell Bomb for the Bloodghast as well, if we want, which seems pretty good. And we have Buried Ruin to bring its like Scrap Trawler back if we want. So I think I'm actually just going to block here. Or actually, like if we're taking the 2 anyway, he doesn't have another land in hand. So I think I just block here because I can wipe. Yeah, I can clear the board of those 2 next turn. So yeah, let's just block like this. And then I can still get both of the triggered abilities off of the Goblin Guides, I guess, next turn. So yeah, so let's see. If I play this on 1, play that on 1, and then we still have 2 mana open. Yeah, because I kind of wanted to have both up anyways. Yeah, so let's do this. And then let's just tap this. Let's leave our options open for now. So tap that for green, play explosives on 1, and pass the turn after that. I kind of would like to have the Scrap Trawler back in play, because every time we sack this Pyrite Spell Bomb with Scrap Trawler in play, after we blow up this Engineered Explosives, we just keep bringing it back over and over and over again. Our opponent's definitely more creature heavy or reliant on creatures than like a normal burn deck, so we definitely want to get the triggers off of these. Ichor Wellspring. Give us lands, Goblin Guide. Give us lands. Oh, yeah, we're actually gonna, that was kind of dumb. Yeah, we are gonna lose this Pyrite Spell Bomb to our own Engineered Explosives, but that's fine, I guess. So we're still at 10, which is a fairly healthy life total, I'd say. Our opponent has a card in hand. Still have Mox Opal turned on. In case we draw like a Nature's Claim or something, which we haven't seen yet. Hey, got there. So we can do something if we want, like Nature's Claiming our Ichor Wellspring in the instep if they don't have a hate card, but I think we kind of just want to play around hate cards. I think we're just going to play out this Mirror Retriever here. Just because we can still utilize it to block, like, you know, if they play a Swift Spear or something. 3 red, Faithless Looting. Oh, they're really doing it now. Probably has a land in hand, and maybe is trying to get like more Bloodghast or something, or looking for. Okay, so there are 2 Bloodghasts, but no land. Strange. Very strange. Yeah, I think at this point it might be about time to play the Grinding Station out as well and start just kind of getting some value there. Just gonna play this because in case we draw like a bolt or something, we have the mana for that. Let's go ahead and mill ourselves, pop this, draw a card. Another Mox Opal, huh? Well, we could. I think I want to hold like this. And then in the end of turn, I really don't want to use this Nature's Claim, though. Like, Eidolon is definitely our biggest. Yeah. Eidolon is definitely our biggest worry here. Okay, so another Nature's Claim. All right. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that, guys. Thank you so much. All right, so we do have 2 Nature's Claims. That is a great place to be against an aggressively slanted deck. Especially since our opponent has 2 Bloodghast in the graveyard right now. If they play a land... Actually, if they play a land, Bloodghast has haste as long as the opponent has 10 or less life. So with the triggers on the stack, if they play a land, then we can actually do something like Nature's Claim, like our own, Mirror Retriever or something like that. Nature's Claim, Darksteel Citadel. Yeah. So we definitely need to respond here. If we sack the Mirror Retriever, we can actually... what do we want to do here? Could bring back... let's see. Yeah, we do need to start milling aggressively, I think, as well. We definitely need to respond to this, though, so we need a Nature's Claim. I think I can be safe Nature's Claiming like a Darksteel Citadel for now. Because it's indestructible and we still get the 4 life off of it, so we're fine there. So that buys us a little bit more time as well, because these are... Yeah, we definitely need to find an anvil, though. We definitely need an anvil. Our opponent's definitely tanking about something. We're definitely thinking hard about something. Maybe they're trying to decide what our last card is. Maybe they want to Thoughtseize us. They could be deciding whether or not to bolt our Mirror Retriever or bolt us to the face. Yeah, so Thoughtseize. So they are going to get our Nature's Claim. That's kind of unfortunate, because that would put us at 18. But, Inventor's Fair. Well, that gets us a Semblance Anvil, but we still need a card to exile with Semblance Anvil, which I guess Mirror Retriever dying could potentially give us, but I think we just need to pass the turn here. So we can sack this in the instep to get a semblance anvil. And I think we can just bring back like scrap trawler. I think we can just block with mirror retriever, and then we can sacrifice it to grinding station in response. And I think what I would like to do is bring back a scrap trawler. Yeah, by sacking to our grinding station there, we did prevent the damage. Yep, we did prevent the damage from one of the blood gas, but we actually didn't trade with one. But it never feels great trading with blood gas anyway. It's never really a trade. They're seeing a lot more cards in like a normal deck too, so they could just have, yeah. I mean, we do have Buried Ruin to get it back, so. Okay, let's, while we still control all these artifacts, let's sacrifice our Inventor's Fair, getting a Semblance Anvil. They are going to tear our grinding station, turns off our Mox Opal. That's kind of unfortunate, but at least for the time being. Galvanic Blast. That's okay, I suppose. Maybe I'm just supposed to leave up. No. I was going to say maybe we're supposed to just leave up Buried Ruin to get back our grinding station in the instep, but it's going to be pretty tough. So we can block one Blood Ghast, Galvanic Blast the other. Be so sweet if we knew we were going to draw like another Galvanic Blast. It's actually been like a grindy game for two decks that are really wanting to win normally as fast as possible. Is he going to play 3 mana? Oh, flashback. He likes Faithless Looting, this guy. Definitely likes Faithless Looting. Maybe he's looking for another Thoughtseize. He's got a lot of Thoughtseizes. Thoughtseize? Claim. Okay. Goblin Guide. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We go to 2. Otherwise, I can block, kill 1, take 4, go to 6. I think that's what we do here. See what's on top. Terrarion. Let's see. Let me just go ahead and block here. And then we're going to go ahead and spend a red mana to Galvanic Blast this one. We'll get a Scrap Trawler trigger, bringing back a Mirage. No, actually, we bring back our Grinding Station, right? Because, yeah, then we can start. It's going to be really tough, actually. I think I still just want Mirage Reaver right now. I really want the Grinding Station, but I can get that back from Buried Ruin, and we really just kind of need to stay alive here. So let's just go ahead and play this out. And then we are kind of exposing it to a hate card here, but we don't have a lot of other options at this point. And we also just don't have a lot of time. Are they going to Faithless Looting us again? Is that what's happening right now? Something like an Eidolon right now would be a really big pain. I think this deck, this burn deck, whatever it is, casts more Faithless Lootings than an actual like Phoenix deck. I don't even know how many Faithless Lootings they've cast on us in the course of these. What have we played now? Is this our third game? It's like they're an endless looting deck. Mardu looting. Like, are they just digging for something? Are they just like maybe land bolt to bring back their Bloodghast, and then, man, I really wish that we would not have gotten that Nature's Claim dot seized from us. I think we were correct in holding it though. Like Eidolon and Stony Silence are usually much more problematic for us to worry about. Like playing against this deck is just a little different. Most burn decks obviously aren't playing like Thought Seizes and things like that, but okay. So, wow. Our opponent did not. Ooh. Did we just win here? Go off, I guess. We don't have a lot of time though, so we need to. What does our opponent have in hand though? Like if they have Surgical, that's going to be so depressing. Sure, we'll bring back Scrap Trawler. It doesn't really matter at this point. Oh, our opponent conceded. Thank you, opponent, for conceding, even though we had 2 minutes and 44 seconds left on our clock. I think we were gonna get there. We were setting up our yields. So yeah, that was the best possible draw that we could have had, was just the other Mirror Retriever. Because at that point, yeah, all we had to do was just sack our Buried Ruin, get back our Grinding Station, and then we have the other Mirror Retriever. So go off, I guess. I guess we just win. I was really confused. I think it was definitely incorrect for our opponent to not have attacked there. I get why they don't want to do it though. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we played out the Mirror Retriever. If the Mirror Retriever dies, then we do get back the, we do get back the Grinding Station. So I understand the logic, I guess, but it was definitely made us feel a lot safer untapping at 6 than, if we were only at 4 or something like that. I guess, with 1 mana untapped on their side is probably like the same, but it could have been. Yeah, it could have been a misclick as well. They could have just misclicked and not attacked, but it definitely felt very intentional. It definitely felt like it definitely felt like they did not want to attack into our mirror retriever and give us back the grinding station. Because we kind of were in a predicament there. We needed 2 cards to be able to win and go off, and that was grinding station and a second mirror retriever. And buried ruin gives us access to 1, being the grinding station, and then we kind of still needed to have the other mirror retriever as well. So yeah, we just kind of hit what we needed to there. So yeah, that was really good for us to be able to hit that mirror retriever right off of the top. That's what I mean. Like, this deck has just been really consistent for me. These games played out a little differently. This game played out a little slower, I think, than it would have playing against a regular burn deck, just because they're not playing Thought Seizes. They're just trying to kill us normally as fast as possible, and then our cards like Nature's Claims and things like that are only we're pretty safe to keep those in our hand until we want to use them, so we don't get punished too much, I guess, unless there's something like a Skull Crack or something like that where we missed a life gain. But that definitely played out much more grindy, like if we were playing against a Mardu deck or something like that. I'm really glad to see that, after Faithless Looting and Faithless Looting and Faithless Looting, they didn't hit like a Surgical, they didn't hit a Stony Silence, they didn't hit an Eidolon. So that deck was really interesting. I maybe they cut Lingering Souls post sideboard. I mean, I don't feel like I'd want Lingering Souls in my deck post sideboard. So that, definitely could have. I don't really know what they were digging for, but they were digging really hard with all of those Faithless Lootings. That card just feels really bad. I don't know. I guess they get to see more cards, but you'd think you'd want to be playing cards like Light Up the Stage or something like that, like if you're interested in just seeing more cards with your burn deck, but I'm not sure. Oh. Well, the spoiler season is definitely upon us now. We've seen some really cool cards. A lot of Planeswalkers coming up in this set, and if you're an Esper enthusiast or a blue-white enthusiast, then you get a 3-mana Teferi as an early Christmas gift from Wizards. So that's one thing. If you are not playing blue-white or Esper, then I feel like that archetype can just get a lot better with a 3-mana Teferi, and Teferi definitely seems playable. But I don't know. Are there any cards you guys are excited about that you guys have seen that have been spoiled yet, that you guys are really excited about? Any new Planeswalkers? Any new? I saw there were a couple of like edicts. There's a 1 and a black edict now, where target player sacrifices a creature, and then if you control I believe it's a Liliana Planeswalker, then they have to discard a card as well. So that's interesting. I love Modern. Modern is one of my favorite formats, and so whenever a new set is being released, I'm always interested to see what cards may make an impact into the format. And then, of course, Modern Horizons is going to be one of the largest impacts into the format, probably ever, all at once. So we'll see what happens when that's released. So, well, we've definitely been jamming some games with this KCI 2.0 deck, as I have been referring to it as. We have it listed as KCI Ravager here because I have a lot of different kind of builds that I'm testing. I call this a Ravager build, but I'm really only just playing 1 Ravager in the main deck right now. We played 2 last night. I've played 3 before. The card has just never felt great to me. I really want you guys to convince me that the card's good, and I want to believe it's good. I love the concept of having something that is a sack outlet at instant speed, similar to kind of what KCI did, even though it's not a mana ability and kind of plays out in a different way, and also maybe being an alternate win condition. But anytime I've ever drawn a Ravager, it just feels like, off of an Ancient Stirrings, it always seems like there's something better to take or digging towards my combo. Other pieces that are going to help me to combo more, because it doesn't act as a draw engine for the deck like Grinding Station does. It it always seems to die to whatever removal my opponent is playing in their deck that normally would not affect me, whether it's some kind of fatal push or a path or a bolt or something. Or I think we played one game earlier where we played out a Ravager on turn 2. Granted, we were playing against mono blue Tron, so that Ravager wasn't going to do anything that impactful in that game, but we played it on turn 2, and I think maybe we had a Chromatic Star or something to sack to it if we wanted to and draw a card. But I don't know. I just need to maybe test the card out more. Maybe it needs to be a 4 of. Maybe I need the Walking Ballista and the Ink Moth Nexus that some of you guys have been testing. But I've really liked how this deck is really, at least for me, I feel like this deck should be very, I feel like the early turns should be all about just assembling your combo. So turns 1 and 2 and 3, or 1 through 3, I'm usually just wanting to play out eggs, crack my eggs, it feels like assembling this combo. There's not a lot of like main deck cards that some decks are running that is that's going to disrupt us. And I think the thing I really like about the deck, at least how I play the deck, you guys might have different styles with the deck and ways that you're playing it out. Because I get questioned on this sometimes. I like my opponent to feel really safe. I like to play some eggs, crack some eggs. A lot of times, if people haven't seen this deck, they don't really know what I'm up to. They just see, oh, I'm playing a Chromatic Star, maybe I'm playing Tron, something like that, especially if I'm playing into an Ancient Stirrings. And then, I like my opponents to feel safe. And then usually in one turn is just kind of, when my opponent has tapped out or advanced their board state, I like to kind of just play out, I like to play out some other... I like to just kind of set up my combo and combo off in one turn and just start going off. I'm just kind of reading through Twitch chat now, so if you're interacting on the Twitch chat, I'm just kind of going through some of your messages now. Yeah, the new Karn looks playable for sure. I would definitely be interested to try that. Is the new Karn, is it I think it's a 3-drop. Is it a 4-drop? It could be a 4-drop. Yeah, I agree. The one Ravager seems awkward. And being on the Walking Ballista plan probably is maybe why Ravager has felt so bad to me, is because I haven't been playing Walking Ballista. And I could see how Walking Ballista, maybe like in that game that we played against Mardu, if we have Ravagers and we're sacking and putting counters on things, the Ravager, I guess the Ravager blocks well. And then if we can get Walking Ballista into play and then put the counters on the Walking Ballista, then we can shoot down a lot of our opponent's smaller creatures. But I'm still a little skeptical. It just seems that you definitely have to have the Walking Ballista in play, or you have to find the one of because I think they're just playing one Walking Ballista, the list that I've seen. So you have to kind of find the Walking Ballista and then manage to get the Walking Ballista in play without the Arcbound Ravager dying before the Ballista gets into play, because it's not like you're playing an Affinity game plan where you have all of these other choices and all of these other creatures to put your counters on. If your Walking Ballistas, if you do manage to find it, you mill it, you use a Buried Ruin, whatever, you get it, you Inventor's Fair for it, whatever, and then you go to play this Walking Ballista, and then they just have a removal spell for your Arcbound Ravager, then you have, a 1/1, Walking Ballista in play. And, I guess, if you, Scrap Trawler being able to bring back the Arcbound Ravager maybe and do some more there. I find that, and maybe again, this is maybe just for myself, I find that sometimes it's really easy for people to get distracted with, get distracted away from your main game plan of the deck. This is definitely a combo deck where you want to assemble your combo and you want to, in this case, mill them out or, kill them with, Walking Ballista, Pyrite Spell Bomb, whatever. And I think that game plan is fine as long as you don't get distracted with trying to get like, making the deck about I want to value out my Arcbound Ravager and things like that, then I think it's fine, and I think it does need more testing from me, and maybe I just need to hop on, whether it's tomorrow or whenever we're gearing up to stream again. Maybe I just need to try this full 4-copy Arcbound Ravager, Ink Moth Nexus, Walking Ballista build. So if you guys are tuning in right now and you have a list that's been working really well for you, a list that you want to advocate for, and you think that the list is good, please, by all means, send me that list, and I'll play it. So if you guys have a list that you guys really like, let me know what this Arcbound Ravager list looks like. Send it to me. Send me a link in chat, or you can hop onto my Twitter. My Twitter is at the bottom here. You'll see my Twitter, Rossman_Ron. Feel free to shoot me a message on Twitter. My YouTube channel, where you can find, we're going to be uploading more videos and stuff from our streams. Send me that list, because I'd love to see what it looks like, and we'll test it out on here. Maybe what I'm trying to do is just kind of fit Ravagers into this list that's just kind of a different list, and it's just not working well for me. So if you guys have a list that you guys want to advocate for, test it. And for you guys that are tuned in too, thank you so much. If you guys haven't followed yet, definitely would appreciate you guys following me on Twitch if you haven't already. But let me know, if there's some other decks, some other modern decks, some things that you guys are interested in seeing or testing, or if you guys want to draft together, whether it's on MTGO or Arena, we can do whatever. So this is just a list I'm having a lot of fun with personally, and I think the deck is really, really good. This is probably the first time I've been this excited about kind of a new non-tier, non-meta deck in quite a while. I've enjoyed, like the Tezzeret Thopter Sword deck. I was a Lantern Control player, prior to this. I played Black-Green. But even the Thopter Sword deck, it was a lot of fun, and I won games with it. But this deck just definitely feels like it could be very resilient to hate, and it can be very consistent and attack from an angle that our opponents just aren't expecting. And as we showcased in this last game that we played, our opponent thought seized us multiple times. They cast a Wear and Tear on us. They Tormod's crypted us. I believe that was all in the same game, and we were still able to win through all of that hate and all of that disruption. And so I have heard people say, yes, this deck is a little bit softer to certain hate than KCI was, and I would not disagree with that. But I think we also have some new avenues that maybe like having Grinding Station as a draw engine for the deck. And I think it's correct to play 3 Buried Ruins, because Buried Ruin, just like in that last instance, was really able to play through things like Thoughtseize and Disruption and Hate really well. It also can play around Surgical really well. So I've been happy with 3. I don't know that 4 would be correct, but I love the card enough that I would play 4. Because it just does so much for the deck. But I think 3 is totally fine. We draw a lot of cards, we see a lot of cards, and Ancient Stirrings is great for us. So so with that, we've been streaming for a little while here. We've just played some games, some matches here. So I really appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm going to hop off here for tonight, but we are going to be doing some more streaming. And again, I really appreciate all your guys' support on the channel so far. We literally just got this channel up and going about 3 days ago. So if you guys have any feedback, any suggestions, lists that you would want me to try out, ideas, discussion topics, I'm open to all of that. So I really appreciate you guys just joining in, being a part of this stream. I hope that you will continue to come back and be a part of what we're doing here. And whether that's that you're excited about this new KCI deck and working together on that, I'm really excited about that. But also doing some fun things as well, having some good discussion. So really appreciate that. So And Pelican Man, I definitely will read the primer that you wrote on the basic build, which I guess is maybe similar to what we're playing right now, would be considered the basic build. So you found the Ravager build to be more combo focused, a more combo focused hardened scales that is much weaker to opponents' sideboards. Also, if you've been experimenting with builds, I'd be interested in seeing how you'd feel with my 75. Yeah, totally, Pelican Man. Send me your 75 and we will, we'll test it out here on stream. I'm totally down for that. And I'm glad that there's a community of people that are actually testing this deck and excited about this deck, working on this deck. And I'm really putting more effort into testing and trying to tweak and refine and pilot the deck really well over anything else I played gearing up for another GP. So we've definitely been working on this one, and I would appreciate your guys' work and help and support as well. So thank you guys so much for supporting. It really means a lot to me. Thank you so much for following, and we will catch you guys on the next stream. Thank you. See you next time.